Hello all and welcome to Duplicate Success International Monday Night Webinar. Today is Monday, May 9th. My name is Randy Crebs, Executive Goal Director from Salt Lake City, Utah. I have the distinct honor of introducing the host of tonight's webinar. He is a very well-respected business leader and mentor in this industry. You'll definitely want to have your pen and paper out, sitting up, paying attention, and taking notes as you learn how this industry expert continues to build his business successfully. He has achieved the rank of Executive Ruby Director within our company. He is the co-founder of Duplicate Success International. He is an amazing leader, mentor, and most importantly, I'm very proud to call him my son. And I am so proud of Jared and Crystal for completing the first of 4 weeks of their Emerald Run. Wow, what an amazing week last week, and they're building it to this week already. So I'm very, very proud of them. So Jared, are you on the line?
I am, Dad. Thank you so much for the great introduction. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. I'm real excited because we have a very special guest that's going to be sharing her story. 20 plus years with USANA, multi-million-dollar club member, Foundation Executive Diamond, 3-star Susanne Cunningham is on the line, and we're going to do our team recognition because we have a lot of recognition. But after that, please have your pens and paper ready. Be ready to take notes. Be ready with questions. It's not very often that we get somebody of her caliber and to have her time that she's committed to sharing her story on this webinar. So you all are in for a real treat. And I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for all of your support during our Emerald Run. Week 1 went very smoothly. We finished early, and we're also very close to being done with week 2, and it's already a Monday. So I just feel very grateful for all of you, all of your commitment. Thank you all for your support. And we're all advancing together. We have a lot to celebrate because of all of you who have stepped up your business as well. So before we get into the recognition, I just want to remind you of our team DMO. It stands for Daily Method of Operation. For those of you who are brand new to this webinar, or if you've been on for quite a while, it's the DMO that gets the results. And so when you start a USANA business, we do the same things every single day. And if you do these 3 things, you will be successful. Number 1, use the products every day, AM and PM, 7 days a week. Number 2, do your 2-2-1 for the day. Now, I do this 6 days a week, but this is something that's non-negotiable. 2 new prospecting conversations a day, 2 follow-ups with prospects who are on the fence, and 1 call to an existing team member or client to encourage them to check in with them. If you do that 6 days a week and you do it consistently throughout the whole year, you will have contacted a lot of people. We're talking probably over 500 to 1,000 people just by doing your 2-2-1 every single day. So I want to really encourage you to keep focused if you haven't done that already, to do it. And then number 3 is 15 minutes of personal development material each day. That's books, audios, or webinars on helping you improve as a business owner with USANA. 15 minutes, non-negotiable. I read my 15 minutes. I turn on my timer. I read my books, my USANA magazines, anything I can to improve myself. If you do these 3 things, you will be successful. You cannot be successful if you're doing those 3 things. Number 3 is all about getting better. And when you do the number 3, your number 2 stuff improves. So that's the DMO. And you might be wondering, well, what's an invite script? If you're very brand new, here's what we say a lot to people who are close to us. It's basically like first a call. It's like, how are you doing? And then we say, hey, the company I work with part-time came out with a 12-minute YouTube video. We need to practice it on some friends. Would you be willing to watch it afterwards? Let me call you to ask you a few questions. So I send that out and I get people to watch the video, and it works like a charm. 2 a day. All right, so that's an example. And then if you want to know the whole process, it's right here at warm.teamdsi.info. That's a link to our scripts that we use with our warm market. And that's really where it all comes down to, is just two a day. They say 2 a day brings freedom your way. So now we're going to actually do some team recognition for the people that have done the DMO. Really, these people are doing their DMO, and you can tell because they're enrolling new people. And so let's welcome our new clients. Number 1, I want to welcome Sherry Velasquez, new client introduced by Carmen Gutierrez. Also want to welcome Sylvia, new client introduced by Carmen Gutierrez. Bienvenida. Also want to welcome John, new client introduced by Carmen Gutierrez. Welcome, John. Also welcome Sergio, new client introduced by Carmen. Actually, I need to say Carmen and Byron Olaya. That's their married name now. So we will be adding that on our next slides because it is Carmen and Byron. This is a team effort. And look at all these enrollments. Welcome Stella Casas, new client introduced by Carmen and Byron Olaya. Also welcome Brad and Cindy Mum, new clients introduced by Renee and Megan Martinez. Welcome Brad and Cindy. Also welcome Perfecto Lopez, new clients introduced by Renee and Megan Martinez. Well done, Renee and Megan. Also welcome Sophia Ding, new client introduced by myself and my wife Crystal. Welcome Sophia. Also welcome Carmen Torres, new client introduced by Junior Alvarado. Welcome Carmen. Welcome Alicia Bell, new client introduced by Patrick Porter. Welcome Alicia. All right, so great job everyone last week for enrolling all these clients and helping them start with their USANA journey. And now we want to give some recognition to our new associates who just gotten started with us in the last week. Welcome Carlos Gomez from Poteet, Texas, new associate introduced by Renee and Megan Martinez. Welcome Patrick Porter from Azle, Texas, new associate introduced by Krista Marquez. Welcome Patrick. Welcome Yemi Olaya from Bogota, Colombia, new associate introduced by Carmen Gutierrez and Byron Olaya. Big congratulations. We're going international, and it's really cool. So bienvenidos, Yemi. Me gustaría hablar contigo pronto. Welcome Gladys Trujillo, new associate introduced by Carmen and Byron Olaya as well. Welcome Gladys. Can't wait to meet you. Welcome back, Dr. Christina Stitcher, associate introduced by Randy and Viola Krebs. Welcome, Dr. Stitcher. I know that you're a great chiropractor, and hopefully we get to visit you when we're in Utah and get a nice adjustment. All right, so now it's time for our big recognition. We have a few advancements that were really significant this past week, and so we're going to get right into these. A lot to celebrate. So special recognition, first of all, goes to new lifetime pace setter Jade Fochik from Poteet, Texas. And Jade, you did an amazing job advancing to this, finalizing last week on the reports. I know Jade is not on the webinar tonight, but Jade, I appreciate you. I really admire the fact that you're able to enroll new clients and help people with such a busy schedule with your beautiful daughter Taylor and your husband Jay. So thank you, Jade, for all your commitment and to helping others, and you'd make a huge difference on our team. Also, I want to actually bring on the line, we are honored to have Krista Marquez on this line with us, who just advanced also to lifetime pace setter. And you might be wondering, what is lifetime pace setter? That means that she's qualified for a 10% matching bonus for the entire life of her business on any of the new leaders that she creates that hit that same rank, which is actually the platinum pace setter status. I know it's kind of confusing, but it's a big deal. And Krista enrolled 2 associates and over 800 points last week to get this and to qualify. So I want to bring Krista on the line. Dad, could you please unmute Krista? Krista, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, welcome to the webinar. So first of all, big congratulations on your advancement. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
So Krista, you've been on the last 3 webinars. Everybody who's on these webinars, they know, they're already like, man, Krista again. Well, I have to say, yes, Krista again, because you continue to produce every week. So
Thank
can
you.
you have, yes, of course. And not everybody knows you though, because we have new people on the webinar right now as we speak. So could you just take a moment and just tell us why you chose USANA, what USANA has done for you, and then give maybe a new tip you haven't given before to the team.
Okay. Well, I got into USANA, like I had said before, because I wanted to be an all-natural doctor. And I haven't had a chance to finish my bachelor's degree, so I haven't been able to transfer to go to that school to do natural medicine. But that is like the absolute thing that I want to do with my life. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And then when I found USANA, I was like, hey, I can do this, and it's really close, well, similar in a lot of aspects to helping people the way I wanted to doing natural medicine. So for me, that's just amazing because I can start now and also learn a lot about, nutrition and specific things that help people. And with me, whenever I started the products, I started with the multivitamin and the Biomega. I noticed within just 5 or 6 days that my memory improved, my mind was clear, I could think better, and I was getting actually worried because I thought, my memory is already fading, and I'm not even 30, but these vitamins definitely helped me, so I know for a fact that they work. And then after even longer than that, it just gets better and better. The longer that I take them, the better I feel. So, and I can tell the difference when I don't take them, so it's pretty awesome. And also, my husband has lost weight. My kids' grades improved. So, it's really helped my whole family. And I guess for like another tip, I would say be positive about your business, and like on the DMO, that third thing where it's, take those 15 minutes to really help yourself, like watch a inspirational video that talks about how to believe in yourself, because you really need to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be really hard to get other people to believe in you. So, just take the time to focus on your mind so that you can produce with quality. Because, if you're just going to half things and not go all the way, you're not going to get where you want to be. So definitely you want the quality. So take that time and effort and put it in yourself.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Krista. I love what you say about being positive about your business, because I think all of us at some point feel like our business isn't growing fast enough, or, can focus on what's not going right. But it takes a discipline and a special focus to focus on what is going right. And that's a great thing to say to everyone. I know every night at the end of the night, I think what are 5 things that were positive that happened in my business? And I think about those things right before I go to sleep. So thank you, Krista, for that piece of advice. And again, big congratulations on your qualification for Lifetime Pacesetter.
Thank you.
All right, next, moving on, we got to have big recognition, big congratulations to the brand new directors, Byron and Carmen Olaya from San Antonio, Texas. This has been, I think we hear a mute. Dad, she might be in on her phone as well. Before I bring Carmen and Byron on the line, I got to say that first of all, I've known Carmen now for over 2 years. Carmen's become one of my best friends, and now so is Byron. And I have watched Carmen overcome so many challenges and obstacles over these last 2 years. And her and Byron got married probably about 2 or 3 months ago. And when he came on board, it was like the driving force to their business. It's like everything came together. All of Carmen's perseverance combined with Byron's drive, and boom, they become top-ranking associates on our team, advanced to the level of director, made over $600 last week. They're now international. Their business is in not only the United States, but also growing in Colombia. And they have clients even in different markets like Peru, and people who are buying products all over the place. So big congratulations. I want to bring Carmen and Byron on the line. Director is a big accomplishment. Dad, could you please unmute them, please? Carmen and Byron, are you there?
Yes, we're here.
We hear you loud and clear.
Hello.
Well, first of all, big congratulations on your advancement. This is so awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I just want to say to both of you, Crystal and I have been with you through it all, through all the highs and lows, and it's just so great to see you guys come out on top. Your business is growing. We really appreciate. We love you. Can you tell the team a little bit about what USANA has done for each of you in your life, and then also just reflect on this last week and what it took for you to become directors?
Well, first of all, I'm very thankful to God for allowing us to be part of Team DSI, as well as for my dear and inspiring friend, Jerry Crebs, and all his support. I just want to say something that to you, Jared, that your coaching and leadership has made a difference in our lives, and you play a big part of all our success. Um, Besides, USANA is a great company, and we just landed at the right time with the right product and in the right vision. So we're just a power couple now that has a vision, and all we see from now on is the top. That's basically all I can say.
Wow, I love that vision that you're, no matter what, any obstacle, you're always focused on that vision of being at the top. I love that.
Yes, and bye.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
I'm really happy for this moment. I want to say three things. The first one is thank you, God, for everything that you give us. Second is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you, my beautiful wife. And the last one thing is if you want to be a great company tomorrow, you begin to act today as if you were. So thank you, Jerry, for your support. And I'm really happy for that.
Thank you, Byron. It is awesome. It's been great meeting you, working with you, and you are a power couple. I concur. It is so much fun working together. Y'all's business is growing. You enrolled 4 associates last week, 2 in Colombia. Your business is on fire, and it's time to now cultivate those people, cultivate the new clients as well. And I know in no time y'all will be crossing the stage as new silvers and golds and beyond in USANA. Thank you for all your commitment and leading by example for our team.
Yes, thanks
you.
to all of you as well. Thank you.
Well, Carmen and Byron, you just won a private tour of the USANA home office the day before convention. For all of you directors and above, I hope you're out there listening, Renee and Megan Martinez, because I just confirmed this with the corporate office. Team DSI directors and above will get their own private tour the day before international convention. You'll be able to go see the facilities of USANA, see where everything's made, and you get to do it without being with 1,000 people on the day of convention. So it's a private tour for directors and above. If you're watching and you're not director and above yet, and you want to go with us, it's going to be Tuesday, and that's the Tuesday before convention. So that'd be August 23rd at 3 p.m. So want to fly in early on Tuesday so you can take this private tour. So I want to encourage you all to get to director and above so you can go hang out with Carmen and Byron Olaya, Renee and Megan Martinez, myself, my parents, my wife, and anyone else who wants to come. So it's going to be a great, great day, the day before convention. And again, big congratulations, Carmen and Byron. I don't think you knew you were going to win this, so it's going to be awesome. All right, so before we get into our guest speaker, we have the USANA clients page. When you enroll a new client, make sure you add them to this group. When you enroll a new associate, add them to Team DSI, which is our private group for associates. You can add them even if they're a prospect as well, because sometimes prospects want to see what's going on. If they become an associate, you can add them to Hybrid Solutions. Hybrid Solutions is the USANA family at large. You can also find stories at Hybrid Solutions when you enter search this group. If you want a story about diabetes or cancer or whatever, USANA is not a cure for those things, but you can search. Okay, and then lastly, before we have our guest speaker, I just want to give you the update on our WAP and Win incentive. So those of you who don't know, we're hosting a 13-week competition for our team, and you get, we're incorporating the Road to Achiever program. You get points by making your binder. It's a binder of the weekly action plans for 52 weeks. You get points by registering yourself for convention, points for having a rank advancement, points for doing your weekly action plan by Sunday night, points for enrolling new associates, new clients, and points when your new personally sponsored associate registers for international convention. So the more points, the more money. All right. So basically, the first place prize is $200, the second place is $125, and the third place is $75. But wait, there's more. If you're going to convention, the prize is double. So first place takes home $400 cash, second place takes home $250, and third place takes home $150. So right now, we actually have the scores for week 1. So if you turned in your weekly action plan yesterday, that counts for week 2. So that's not reflected here. These scores reflect as of Friday, May 6th. Carmen and Byron Olaya, 41 points. Renee and Megan Martinez, 21 points. Krista Marquez, 19 points. That's the top three, but big congratulations to everyone on this list. And it's a 13-week competition. We only 1 week in, so this is a long journey. Let's see if Carmen and Byron can keep the lead, see if anyone comes and emerges. It's going to be interesting, but I know the best part is we're all winning because we're all building our business. We're all helping others. And I can't wait to see how this turns out and see you guys grow your business to even higher levels. Earn all the points. And big thank you to my wife, Crystal, for all of her hard work on this incentive. She made all these slides. She did all the tallying of all these results. She spent the hours it takes to put all this together. So big thank you, Crystal. I appreciate you for all your hard work. She's the driving force behind our business, that's for sure. And our Emerald Run is going great. We're in week 2. We appreciate you putting your orders in and taking action. We'll keep you updated on what we need if we need support with points, etc. And we're right in the middle of it. So week 2 is going to be done. We will be Emerald for sure on or before May 27th. So thank you for your support. All right, so now we've made it to our guest speaker, and I'm going to take a 5-second pause for recording purposes. And Susanne, you will have a full 30 minutes, even though we're getting to you about 10 minutes behind when we planned. So let me take 5 seconds, and then we'll go right in. Hello, my name is Jared Crebs. I'm pictured here with my wife, Crystal, and our dog, Tasia. We're executive Ruby directors for another few more weeks, about to go Emerald. And we're co-founders of Team DSI, but most importantly, we are blessed to have Susanne Cunningham, foundation executive, 3-star diamond director, sharing her story on our webinar tonight. And this is going to be a video that you can also share and share Suzanne's amazing story. I love Susanne because I got to know her in Ireland. We won a trip in 2008, her and her husband, John. And the thing that really got me about their story is what being in USANA for an extended period of time can do in your life. Susanne has developed several top leaders in our company. She's also written a book called Being Laser Focused, Your Roadmap to Success. I actually have this book in my hand right now, and this has been a great book for us, especially about the weekly action plan and how she cultivates her leaders. So I hope you're sitting up, you're paying attention, and you're going to be ready to take notes, have your questions ready, because you're in for a big treat with Susanne Cunningham. So I'm going to bring you on the line right now. Susanne, are you there?
I am. Hello, everyone.
Thank you for being here, Susanne. We're very excited to hear your story.
It's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here. You guys are very inspirational yourself, so congratulations to all of you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm going to be forwarding the slides for you, so just feel free to tell me when to move them forward. And
Okay.
you have the floor. We want to know your story from the beginning, all the ups, the downs, the challenges you overcame, to now. What does your life look like? Tell us your story.
Great. I would love to. It seems like yesterday, but it is just over 21 years now since my story began. And those 2 gentlemen that you saw on that previous slide are 2 gentlemen that came, that were strangers, who literally changed my life. And the reason that I bring them up initially is for you to realize that you are that person. You might be that stranger to someone whose life you will change. You may already have become that person. And it's a big deal. And so Rennie on the left, he was my sponsor, and he was an acquaintance, purely an acquaintance. And from a previous life, he and I had met just briefly, and he joked that I was like a little bulldozer. And he meant it lovingly, I think. But when he heard about USANA, he decided that I needed to hear about it. And so he gave me a call, and I'll never forget rolling my eyes and thinking, I just don't have time for this. We had 3 little boys that were 3, 5, and 7 at the time. I was self-employed, earning a 6-figure income, working a school schedule with lots of freedom to be with my family, my children. And for so many reasons, I didn't have time. And when Rennie called me, it purely was just to be nice to a friend or to an acquaintance. And when I heard what I heard about USANA, I became extremely intrigued. Now, the person on the right is Ron Dowie. Ron was the man who was to come and do the presentation, and who ultimately ended up becoming one of our best friends, our mentor, and we built this business as a family, as a team, John and I and Ron, and all of the team that was yet to come. But when Ron first came to do that presentation, he was late. And poor Rennie was pacing the floor and frantic that this was not going to go well. But when Ron walked into the room and shared the opportunity, everybody at that breakfast meeting, heads turned. Ron had this magical ability to help us dream and to see what the potential of opportunity might be before us. He was an engineer, so he came from a professional background who knew that there was a value in having a second income stream. And Rennie was someone who Ron's best friend had connected with. And so you never know who's going to know somebody who's going to know someone. But these two guys changed my life. Now, sadly, both of them have left this earth. Rennie never did really do a lot in the business. He did for a while, and then he just disappeared. And I'm really sad that that's the case, because who knows who else's lives he could have changed. And Ron, well, he left too soon, but he left us with a legacy, his family a legacy, and all of us a legacy, that this business works. He was an Emerald Director when he passed away. His family continued with his business, and he has been in the top 25 Emerald Directors since his passing. So his business, his legacy continued, and if truth be known, he actually always said that he was building this business to make sure that his family would be okay. So it's all about changing people's lives. And we see that on a health and freedom slide, I know. And sometimes I think that we might think that it's corny, but it's not. It's extremely real. And it's extremely important to realize the role that you might be playing. And I heard one of the ladies earlier say, I think it was a lady, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was Byron, who said to not to give half, but to really go for this. And this is what I really believe this opportunity did for me. Go ahead, Jared. Now, John and I started this business, as I said, 21 years ago. It was March 31st, 1995, and our little Ys were 3, 5, and 7 at the time. Back then, we didn't take a lot of pictures like we do today. I think I take more pictures of my cat in an afternoon than I used to take of our time starting building the business. But we go back to these same photos all the time, but they warm my heart, because we were all about family. We were about building a life that would be better maybe than the one that we had had ourselves. Not that our lives were poor, but, you know, all of us have circumstances in our lives that as we raise our own family, we want to do better. We strive for. And maybe that's exactly what our parents teach us anyway. But our kids were little. We were busy. I was self-employed, like I said, earning a 6-figure income, living what I would have called my best life. John was in management at a local telephone company, and he was really proud of where he was, climbing the corporate ladder. So USANA coming into our lives was like well, it was a gift, but I don't even know that we realized it yet. I remember a particular day as I was driving to an appointment in my other business, and I remember thinking out loud to myself, when am I going to get my break? And a friend of mine has since said to me, you know, Susanne, that was a prayer. And I guess it was. Little did I know that it was going to get answered so quickly. And when Rennie called me, I didn't recognize it as the answer that I was looking for. But in hindsight, I know absolutely that's exactly what it was. I got my break, and then the trick was I had to work on my break. There was things that needed to be done. You know, I had a skeptical husband, so I said what he was doing for a career, but he was a skeptical husband. And my mom, she was saying, you're not going to do that thing, are you? So when you think about it, there was a lot of skepticism or doubt all around me. And so it really required some attention to really come and rise above that. And so Ron Dowie, who I showed you at the beginning there, he was a really big piece of that. He believed in us more than we believed in ourselves. And he was a real master at goal setting and setting systems And I remember sitting in the audience with my arms crossed saying, I don't do goals. I don't do goals. I'm not doing goals. I'm not writing down goals. Well, he worked on me for quite a while. And before I knew it, I realized that we all write down goals, whether it's our to-do list or it's our grocery list. That's a form of goals. And that if I wanted to have more, I could achieve it by making bigger goals. So this particular visual is, if you see Dr. Wentz and John and I looking like we're ready for a cruise or on a chilly evening on a cruise, that was when we went gold. We went gold director 9 months into our business. 3 months earlier, we were achievers. And it was our mentor, sorry about that, everyone. It was our mentor, Ron, who convinced us that we could do this. We could go gold. I remember thinking he was crazy, but he believed in us more than we believed in ourselves, and we decided to take the challenge. To do that, it was all about momentum and really taking action. I wasn't a network marketer. I'm not even convinced I'm still a good network marketer, but I knew that I could learn, and because I was willing to learn from a teacher that had done it and was doing it, that was really the key. John was a great support, even at the beginning when he was a skeptic. Once he had said yes to this, he was a great support. A few months into the game, he actually decided he was going to do this with me with a little prodding from our mentor. And so in 9 months, there we were, achieving our goal on the first USANA cruise that we could go on and celebrating. Now, when you build your business, there's levels to move forward, and they're all marker points. It's pretty easy to get stuck in a marker point when you believe that you've achieved enough, or it's good enough, or you're willing, and in some ways, to sabotage what you're doing. And so we got to Ruby after 17 months, but we stayed there for 3 years. And if you asked me back then, I wouldn't have said that I was retired. I would have told you I was working. But there was something inside me that was holding me back. And it was those beliefs that this is good enough, that this is more than I expected, how fortunate we were to be making the kind of money that we were making as Ruby directors, how fortunate we were to have a team of people who loved the products. And I just got comfortable. I got relaxed. And some opportunities passed us by during that time. Australia opened, and we didn't take advantage of it. And, there were opportunities to build across the globe and right in our back door that we probably didn't take advantage of because we were stuck in some mentality of good enough. And I talk about this only because it's a big deal. Too often we get stuck. It wasn't the first time, and it probably won't be the last time that I got stuck, but recognizing it and moving forward was really, really important. We went to a particular convention, and I heard some conversations about convention earlier. Convention is extremely, extremely important. If you get to convention, you get to see people being celebrated. But I'm going to challenge you to be celebrated as well. Jared, if you just want to go back to the last slide just for a second, please.
Sorry.
It's okay. I want to challenge you to be really motivated to not just celebrate other people. Yes, we should do that, but also to really stretch and grow. Because during that Ruby time, I remember going to convention and 3 years in, really noticed that we were out of the swing of things, that we really were sort of just in the audience. And it really bugged me, to be totally honest. And the more the event went on, the more it bugged me. And when I got on the airplane to go back home, I said to everyone, you know what, when we get home, we're going to get down to work. And we're going to do being laser focused, your roadmap to success, every single week until the next convention. We were going to see a lot of people achieve their goals, and it was going to make a difference in our businesses, of course, as well. Now, being laser focused, your roadmap to success is very much like the Road to Achiever, and very much like you're doing with your goals and the points that you're doing for your challenge, those sorts of things. So it's really important to be accountable. So we did just that. And when we got to convention that following year in 2000, we were announced as going Emerald. We received our roses. And as I sat back down in my seat, and someone next to me was congratulating me, And John started to pull my sleeve. And I said, that's what? And he said, we were just announced as the Dr. Wentz Vision Award winners. So, wow, is all I can say. So we went back up on stage, received that award, and I can't say that it happened for any other reason than we put the effort in. We achieved goals, we brought people with us, we put the work in, and it was noticed. But the other thing that I didn't know, and the point of this is about goals. John showed me a little piece of paper. It was about a 6x6 piece of paper, which he had written some things on and folded up in his wallet. And in there, he had the name of some people that he wanted to see move to different levels. So he was goal setting on this paper. And one of those little goals, big goals, was to win the Dr. Wentz Vision Award. So for the girl who said, I don't do goals, and I'm not sure if John ever had done them before, but when you set your intention and you write it down, and you can even forget about it after you do it, and you don't even have to tell your spouse, but you'd be surprised what can come true. And that last visual that I'm showing you there is about 20 years later, still being in health. I'm talking to you a lot about the business, but when I started in this opportunity, I responded first to the business. But if you ask me today what's the best thing that I got from this business, from this USANA opportunity, it would be my health and the health of the people around me. Being in health, looking after ourselves from, the moment we learn about USANA right through to the very end is really, really important. There are products that we can trust, and they give us the opportunity to really achieve all the goals that we have, because without our health, what on earth would we have? Go ahead, Jared.
You look great, by the way.
No, Oh, thank you. Now, some of you might just be on the phone, so I'm going to read this quote. It's a quote by Randy Pausch. He's the author of the last lecture. He is also the late Randy Pausch. He wrote the last lecture just before he passed away. He had a condition that was going to take his life, and he learned of that. And in his career, one of the rules when you retired was that you would give your last lecture. And his last lecture actually had a double meaning. But I love the book. I highly recommend it to all of you when you're reading in those 15 minutes a day. And here's the quote that caught my interest. It says, the brick walls are there for a reason. The brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something. Because the brick walls are there to stop the people who don't want it badly enough. They're there to stop the other people. And I just want you to keep that in mind, because as I said to you earlier, there was not just the first time, and it won't be the last time, that I got stuck. Getting stuck is, I think, a human thing. And so if you have the opportunity to realize that, yeah, you're coming up against a road block or a speed bump, but it doesn't have to stop you. If you really want something bad enough, you will find a way. And having that why can really, really power you. When I talked about being Ruby and stuck, many people would say, well, that's a great place to be stuck. Maybe so, but how many more people could I have helped? How many more lives could I have changed in that short time? When we went Emerald and Dr. Wentz Vision Award winners, we had, a good time for the next year. We continued with our momentum. We solidified our business. And then sadly, we lost our friend and mentor, Ron Dowie. Prior to that, I have to say I'd probably lost a little bit of my why. I had lost my big purpose for building the business. But when Ron passed away, my why was really, really clear. He had believed in us more than we had believed in ourselves. And that meant the world to us. It changed our lives. It gave us our health. It gave us our dreams. It gave us possibilities that we wouldn't have even been able to touch. And so I'm forever, forever grateful. But I knew that it was very, very important that we extend what he had done with us and others, but do it again and again into the depths of our business and into the years to follow. And that is what took us to Diamond and over the years to where we are today. So it's very important to realize that if we're stuck inside our heads at all, or we're stuck in what we're doing in our business, that we have to look deep inside ourselves and find that bigger why. Because once we have that, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish. Go ahead, Jared. Now, Being Laser Focused, The Roadmap to Success is a book that, I've got my name on, but to be totally honest, it's Ron that taught us this. He was an individual who had a lot of networking background. He had been well trained, and he was a very good student. And so what he taught us to do, we were the kind of students that could do it just by being told. But what we realized is that there's a lot of people out there who are not able to do it by being told. And so we actually decided to write it down and use it as a tool to help people to achieve their successes. It's simple. It is a system, and I said that it's a lot like the Road to Achiever that many of you might be doing right now, but it's one of those basics that without those systems, without those basic systems, and without being consistent with them and accountable to yourself and others, you may not achieve the goals that you're looking for. So there's an opportunity for anyone to use it if you want. I put my website there if you want to get yourself a copy, but from what I've heard today, you guys are all on the right track, and I congratulate you for your work. Go ahead, Jared. One of the best gifts that I've gotten from this business, aside from my health, is working with my husband. I said that he was a skeptic at the beginning, and he was far from a guy who was ready to do this business from his background as I was to do it from mine. But he was willing to learn. And once he engaged into the business and really became part of it, I always joke that I feel like I worked harder, but he worked smarter. He actually found the people first that were the most likely to achieve in this business and continue to be in our team and grow in the business. So you never know what two can create. The partnership can be amazing. The way you tag team with one another, the way you learn from one another. It won't always be easy. And I tell you this because a lot of people will ask us how to get their husband or how to get their wife involved and to work alongside of them because they feel like they would be so good at it or the business would be so much better if they could work together. And John and I have always had to tell people that it's a project all of its own. People have to come into it because they really want to. They have to find the value in it. We can't make anyone, including our spouses, build this business with us. When we do build it together, I think it's a tremendous gift. We can't make that happen. I also hope that no one ever takes away the other spouse's dream because this is an opportunity that can change the family's life. It can give you back your time, maintain your health, and of course, set your financial freedom. My children, they were 3, 5, and 7 when we started. They are 24, 26, and 28 today. John and I have been married now for 34 years. We've been parents for 28, and we've been in USANA for 21. The 3 most important things in our lives right now. We can't separate one from the other. They're all part of who we are. Our boys' health, my opportunity to travel with my sons, doing mom and son trips since they were 3, 5, and 7, has been a blessing and a gift that I can't imagine living without. Being a woman, they say that, women are better at network marketing, maybe, but I don't even believe that I was a network marketer. But what this opportunity gave me, the ability to be free and to be empowered and to travel and be adventurous, was a tremendous gift, and a gift that I would wish for any woman that wants more and to see how far they can push the envelope, because there is so much possibility out there. My mom, you have to find out what's in this business for you. And when I started this business, you might have heard me say that my mom said, "You're not going to do that thing, are you?" And I said, "What thing might that be, Mom?" And she said, "That vitamin thing." And I said, "Well, I don't know if I will or I won't, but why are you saying that?" And she said, "Because everyone's doing that vitamin thing." Now, I took it as criticism at the time, but the reality is that if I had paid more attention, the idea of doing something that everybody wanted was absolutely genius. And that's why I should have said yes quickly. But my mom ended up being my best supporter. She would talk about these products. She would use her products consistently. My mom passed away just over a year ago. And the reason that I mention her right now is because I would never have imagined 21 years ago that someday it would be such a big deal for me to be in USANA, but it was 20 years later. It was such a big deal because I had the freedom to be with my mom when I needed to be. She fell and broke her femur. I was hoping I was going to bring her back to full health, but instead, sadly, she became one of those statistics who, as a senior, had fallen, and I suspect that it was the drugs that were given to her to help her with pain, but ultimately she passed away. But I was able to be with her for almost 10 weeks, every single day. No one asked, and never had to ask for permission, never had to apologize to anyone. I had the freedom to be where I needed to be when I needed to be there. And that is a tremendous gift that USANA has given us. Go ahead, Jared. Relationships and people in my life. The people that I have met through this experience have been amazing. You already know that, whether you're reaching out to strangers or family or friends, but the more you get together, the more you communicate, the more you have relationships with one another, the more happiness and smiles and joy that is brought to people's lives. I don't think you can find a single picture from here on in that isn't covered with smiles. And these aren't smiles just because a camera is looking at us. These are smiles because we're having fun, because we're feeling well, because we're celebrating one another. And that's the pleasure and the joy this opportunity brings. John and I have had the great fortune to be in the Fortune 25 10 years consecutively, to be in the elite bonus. We've had the opportunity to grow in this business, but the only way that can happen is by helping other people to achieve. Go ahead, Jared. I really believe that John and I grew up in this business. We were a young couple, doing okay, buying our home and paying our mortgage and putting our kids into events and activities, barely traveling at that point. But this opportunity called USANA gave us a chance to travel, and not just travel, but travel in style. I would have gone to a hotel room in a very low end and called it good enough before. But USANA showed us in those Fortune 25 opportunities what really living was, what a 5-star hotel was, and to be treated like celebrities was. And it didn't take me away from being humble, because I'm ever so humble and grateful for what that was, but it showed me that there was more. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that I can suggest to anyone, is that there's always more. Settling is really an excuse. There is so much more possibilities. We're always growing. So to be able to see the world, or to help more people, or to learn more, to develop more as a person, to have more health, to get more health, to be more fit, all of these things are the mores that you can have, the mores that you can be, the mores that you can do. And they're so important in the big picture. If you're finding joy, the ripple effect of that is massive, because you're very seldom doing these things alone. Go ahead, Jared. The mores in life. When you set your goals, what do they look like? Are you dreaming big? Is your list short, or is it big? Remember, I said I don't do goals, but I have learned to dream very, very big. I have learned to put things on my goal sheet that may never happen, who knows, but if they did, wouldn't it be awesome? I have a bucket list that will keep me here for decades and decades and decades if I'm going to achieve them all. There are hobbies and interests and people who I want to meet. And more importantly than that, I guess, is that I want to see my grandchildren and my great-great-grandchildren. I want to see other people who I have come in contact with through the USANA opportunity, so that they too can have the possibilities. Because it's no fun if it's just me. It's no fun if it's just my family. It is so much more fun when it is a community of people who are upping the bar and really achieving the dreams that they set for themselves. Go ahead, Jared. If I ever get too comfortable and I forget to have goals, I just have to remind myself that anything is possible. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see my Jumping for Joy pictures once in a while. The whole concept behind this is I'm doing it because I can. I can physically, and I'm going to see how many places in the world I can do this jumping for joy thing. So it's a physical thing, but it's a way of celebrating as well. Go ahead, Jared. Here's another quote for you all. And I remember being at the very beginning, and I didn't know how to dream because I only knew what I knew then. I wasn't experienced enough. I hadn't lived a big enough life to realize all the things that were possible. What I've shared with you is a lot of things that I know for sure. If you hear any enthusiasm or any conviction in my voice, it's because you cannot convince me that this isn't true. This is what happened in my life, absolutely and most certainly. And this quote, which is from Steve Jobs, is this: you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. And I would suggest to you that it's made all the difference in mine too. I didn't know to make a quote like this. I didn't know to show you the dots. But the reality is that there are so many stories that I could have told throughout this last half hour of strange and synchronistic things that happened that has led us to where we are today. But I believe that it was that call out for when am I going to get my break? I believe that it has to do with the willingness to do whatever it takes. I believe that it is the willingness to be a student and to take on challenges and to really move toward what it is you're looking for. Go ahead, Jared. I've coined another phrase, and that phrase is standing on the edge of your future. That's because I was standing on the edge of my future at one point. When I first heard about USANA, and I really, really wanted to do this, and John, my skeptical husband, was not giving me the time of day. He wouldn't read the newspaper. He wouldn't talk about it. He just would not give me a moment. And Rennie and Ron, who I showed you at the beginning, first Rennie called me to follow up. Remember to follow up, ladies and gentlemen. He called me to follow up, but what I told him was I didn't want him to hold his breath and turn blue because I just couldn't say yes. I wasn't getting any support from John at that point. And so he hung up the phone, sadly, and before I knew it, the phone rang again, and it was Ron this time. You see, Rennie had called Ron, and he said, I need you to help me follow up. And so Ron called me. Only he asked me a question, and if you have been taking any notes or anything stands out, maybe this will stand out for you. And I would hope that you would write this down and use this line. But Ron said to me, what needs to happen next? What needs to happen next? 5 words. 5 words. And when he asked me that question, I knew the answer, and it was that John needed to hear this from somebody other than myself. And he offered to do it, and within 20 minutes, he was at our house. But when I asked John, would he listen? I stood at the base of my stairs asking my husband, who I wasn't afraid of, but I was trembling. And I didn't know what that was all about at the time. But as time progressed, I realized that what that was me standing on the edge of my future. If I had stepped back, that feeling would have gone away. But because I stepped forward and asked John to take a look at this, and he said, whatever, I took that as a yes, and my life has been changed forever. So if you ever feel that adrenaline rush or that shaky feeling, or you think it's fear, it might be nerves, it might be, or might it be that you're standing on the edge of your future. And if you were to actually just move forward, step through it, there would be an amazing life at the end. Go ahead, Jared. And so to leave you with a visual for standing on the edge of your future. You can swim big. You can go play in the sand. I don't know what it is that will give you the biggest and best life, but I am really glad that I really took a dive into the deep end, and I'm still with USANA 21 years later, and I will be with USANA till my very ending days because the products work, the opportunity works, and we need to change more lives.
Wow.
So, Jared? I'm finished.
Yes,
Do you
Suzanne,
have time for questions?
that was so amazing. And yes, we do have time for questions. Um, and I just want to actually make a few quick announcements of some upcoming events we're having. And I know there's a lot of people on this line. So if you have a question for Suzanne, please raise your hand on the webinar. If you're on the phone and you want to ask Suzanne a question, please text me your question. My phone number is 210-860-9001. Again, 210-860-9001. I can ask Suzanne your question. But thank you, Suzanne. I took how many pages of notes just now? At least 8 pages of notes. And
Wow.
yeah, I got so much out of what you said. I really, really love what needs to happen next. I've been doing this for 10 years myself, and I'm thinking of prospects right now I could call and ask that question. You're probably going to help me enroll 3 or 4 people this month just with that question. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I also love the married for 34 years, parents for 28 years, USANA for 21 years. I like how you measure those 3. And really great story about Ron, who believed in you more than you believed in yourself. And, you know, it's just interesting that you were introduced by Randy, who wasn't as strong of an associate, but it was Ron who really provided that mentorship you needed. And it just makes me think a lot of sometimes of the people that I've worked with. And it's like, man, those prospects of your associates, you might be the Ron for that person.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of great notes, but those were the highlights. And then also that convention is important to be celebrated yourself, not just to celebrate others. And I can tell you, you know, for us to be advancing to Emerald right now, it's been a long time since we've had a different name badge, different color we're going to wear at convention, and we're pretty excited about it. So I've learned that. Thank you. All right, so just to finish our webinar, I guess I'll take a pause for the recording this will be a YouTube video, so we'll take a 5-second pause. So it's 9 o'clock, and we are obviously out of time, but we're gonna if Suzanne's okay, maybe we'll allow it maybe 2 or 3 questions. But I want to just give you guys some announcements real fast. If you need to leave, we completely understand. But this is obviously a special webinar. You don't have an executive 3-star diamond on your webinar every week. So thank you guys for giving us the grace. And so basically, there's 3 big events for 2016, and those of you who are new, we're showing this for you, but everybody else obviously is planning as well. So Las Vegas in April, that's done. That was our national event. Next is Salt Lake City in August. You may have heard Suzanne say how important that event is, and it is. It is the most important event of the year. There's been no person that's gotten to a full-time income that has not gone to the International Convention in August. It's just, this is really how key it is. And then there's Las Vegas in December, which is the GoPro event. So here's the dates. Please mark your calendars. Wednesday, August 24th through Saturday, August 27th. That is the International Convention. You can meet Susanne Cunningham there. We see her every year, and it's always nice to see you there, Suzanne. It's the most important event of the year. And remember, if you get to director or above, you're going to get there a day early so you can take that private tour for our team. So please make sure you plan that extra day and fly in and arrive early on Tuesday, if not the night before. Rooms are filling fast. Make sure you go in and log in. Contests and events, International Convention, and that's going to show you all the information about the convention. The hotels are filling, so please, if you have not booked your room, please get it done. Very important. All right, we have many, many people who are already registered. Big congratulations to all of you who are on this list. Las Vegas in December, please mark your calendars, December 1st through the 4th, GoPro Recruiting Mastery with Eric Worre. This gentleman has made over $15 million in network marketing. He has written the book called GoPro, which we all use, and has changed so many lives. He only allows people on stage that are making 6 figures per month. Not 6 figures per year, 6 figures per month. So you want to learn from the best of the best in our industry, you go to this event. You'll hear from Tony Robbins as well, and Sir Richard Branson, the CEO of Virgin Enterprises. We even have people who've booked their tickets a year in advance for that. Big congrats. Also, Sweet Retreat. Hey, we plan out a year in advance. We're serious. You ladies that want to go learn from the top women in our industry, I'm very jealous of you because I cannot go to this. But it's February 2nd through the 4th in Phoenix. So write down the dates right now. You can get your ticket by contacting my mother, Viola, or my wife, Crystal, to be part of the Sweet Retreat. I think we have a ticket or two left in our tables. But other than that, you can still get your ticket. But please mark your calendar for that date. And then there's a bonus trip. You can win it all the way, completely paid for by USANA. You can win it partially, or you can just pay your own way and go with your USANA family on vacation. It's in Costa Rica, November 16th through the 20th. Mark your calendars. Look at this beautiful this view. This is where you'd be staying. Imagine chilling with the USANA family, sipping a margarita, talking about whatever's working in your business, because you made it to Costa Rica, so something's working. Staying in these beautiful hotels, going golfing. It's just a beautiful. We went on the Caribbean cruise last year. It was a life-changing trip, and USANA does it right. So again, it's November 16th through the 20th, Success on the Beach. You might be wondering, how exactly can I win this? Well, you just watch this YouTube video. It's a 12-minute video we made. It's called CostaRica.teamdsi.info. Go watch that 12-minute video. That'll explain how you can win this trip. And for you Texas associates, this Thursday we're having a mixer at Health Natural Solutions, hosted by Khalid and Barbara Medina in San Antonio. Please RSVP. It's going to be from 7 to 8:30. Also Saturday we're going to have a mixer at Country Hollow Condominiums, which that's my place, and it's going to be a mixer plus a GEMS training. It's $5 per distributorship, guests free. We always have great events at Country Hollow. In Utah, there's an event this Thursday at the home office at 7 p.m. Every other Thursday, actually. So if you're in Utah, please make sure that you're taking advantage of that. And then there's a webinar tomorrow about the My Smart Foods, how to host a My Smart Challenge. And then there's also a webinar next Wednesday from a diamond called Dr. Karen Wolf, who we all know and love, very well respected. And she's going to be talking about how to build with My Smart Foods that are coming out. And then lastly, this is a picture of the bins of the trunk of my car. I'm always prepared. I always have extra GoPro books, GoPro audios, USANA newspapers, Dr. McNamara Power of Cellular Nutrition CDs. I'm always ready. Don't go to any event without your forms, your computer, everything you need. Please always be ready. Have everything in your trunk. This is what makes the difference between a pro and an amateur. So I want to encourage you to be pros and always be prepared. All right, so we've made it to the end of the webinar. I have a quick question for Susanne and Dad. Do you have any other people that have raised their hand so far?
Not that I see.
Okay, so if you're watching and you want to ask a question to Susanne Cunningham, now's your opportunity. I'm gonna put it back here on this picture of Susanne. Susanne, I just want to ask you, could you share with us approximately how many gold directors, ruby directors, emeralds, diamonds are in your business? I just want to know like some numbers of high-ranking associates that you've been able to mentor and that just came to your business. Maybe you don't even know some of your diamonds. I don't know. But
yeah, actually, very true. There are a lot of people in our team that we don't know. We have over 10,000 people in our business and probably equal to that in preferred customers. So you can imagine that we don't know most of them. We have thousands of levels all the way up to bronze director. We have over 120 silver directors. We have about 75 gold directors, 30 rubies, 15 emeralds, and I think it's 5 diamonds and star diamonds. So very big, very successful organization, very deep organization where a lot of people are achieving more than they imagined.
120 silvers, 75 golds, 30 rubies, 15 emeralds, and 5 diamonds and star diamonds?
Yes, 5 diamonds / star diamonds, yes.
/ star diamonds. Wow.
Yeah.
Over 10,000 associates and over 10,000 preferred customers.
Yes.
That's very inspiring.
And you think about it, it's just 2 people who know 2 people who know 2 people. And so on and so on and so on, right? So
awesome.
And 21 years. So that's the other thing. You know, if anybody's looking at their business, if you get a chance to look in the roadmap book and you see the page where I talk about the power of one, a lot of people quit when they have about 15 people in their business in around the 6th month, and maybe even before that, because they say it's not building fast enough. But if you just stick with it, by the end of the year, with just bringing in one person who will do what you do every single month, you'll have over 5,000 people in your business. So the trick is to stay focused and be consistent, finding one person a month and helping them to do the same thing.
Wow. And what page of that is in your, do you know by chance what page that is in your book?
Well, I certainly should know, but no. I have it right here, and I will find it for you.
Awesome. Thank you. I have the book here too. I'm gonna look as well. Let me see if there's any other questions. Do we have anybody?
Power of One is on page 42.
Page 40.
Jared, I have a question.
All right, Executive Goal Director Viola Crebs.
Hi, Viola.
Hello, Susanne. Hi. I just wanted to thank you for being on our webinar training, and I want you to know that I've always admired you. I've been in USANA for over 10 years, and every time I see you, I want to, I always talk to you. You're so approachable, and I really appreciate that about you. I do have a question. How do you manage to keep your life in balance as your business has evolved? Obviously, you're a very busy person. How do you manage to balance, keep your life in balance?
Right, great question. I think that the key is that you realize that you own your calendar. That's what's really most important. And there's only 24 hours in a day, and there's only 7 days a week. And some people, a busy person, yes, can get more done in a week. But you have to own your calendar, and you have to know what priorities are. And you have to be able to procrastinate, but procrastinate on the things that don't matter so much. So what are your priorities? Know that. And then working with my calendar. So I can't do 2 things at 9 a.m. So what is it that I'm going to do? And I learned a lesson along the way a little while back. Let me think now, 3.5 years ago, I would have said to you, if you asked for, my working out, I would have told you that I was too busy, that I didn't have time to work out, that everybody else needed me more than I needed to work out. And I really believed that. And then all of a sudden I started to notice that people in my life would be on a call with me for whatever their needs were. And then they'd say, well, I have to go now because I'm on my way to the gym, or I'm just leaving for yoga. And it really bothered me. And that's when I realized that I wasn't giving myself the same attention as I was giving, let's say, the business. So that was me feeling really out of balance. And so I started to change that, and I took my calendar and I booked my schedule for my working out, and I booked my schedule for doing my appointments, and suddenly everything just magically worked. I was able to be available during a certain period of time, and it seemed to be just enough for what people were needing of me, and that gave me back my balance. I think before that, I didn't have it. And I also think that I used to confuse my days, my weeks, and my life in general with the feeling that it was all USANA, which good or bad, whatever, but it was feeling too much maybe. And then I realized that, no, that wasn't true, that through USANA I had gained some very wonderful friends. And sometimes we did things that were relationships, that were friends things. And yes, sometimes we did USANA things, but there was a difference between all of that, and it wasn't all meshed into one. I was blessed to have it because of USANA, but it wasn't all one. And once I saw clearly what I was getting from each of those interactions, I really felt I had more balance as well. And it just gave me back my ownership of my life. And so it really is the calendar. And I think it is also really putting in perspective what it is that you're doing and or getting out of what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, because sometimes I feel a little overwhelmed and trying to juggle everything, and just putting it in perspective and knowing priority. I've got it written down. Thank you so much.
And and everybody's priorities are different, but for me, I know that it was family, I learned that it needed to be fitness so that I could stay well. Just taking my vitamins and trying to eat well wasn't enough. I needed to work out. So whatever it is that's priority for you, your faith, time in nature, whatever it is, and then fit your USANA business within it, it gives you a sense of control, and it will make you feel like you are in charge of your business and in balance. And I don't know that balance is perfect either, I should say, because balance, nothing's happening, right? So the fact that it's okay to have like the balance scales moving all the time, because that's really life and really energized.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we have 3 more questions. Is that okay, Susanne?
Yes, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
All right, so first one is Randy Crebs. You're right there, Dad. Go ahead.
My question's on your goals. One of the keys that I got from your talk was on goals. Do you set weekly goals, monthly goals, annual goals? What type of goals do you personally set for your business?
Well, first and foremost, I write what I would call too many goals. I just write and write and write anything and everything that I can think of that I want to do. And that is a living, breathing object, which I always am adding to. They could be really small things, they could be really big things, but I'm always keeping goals kind of in the forefront of my mind. Then when I'm working with my business, I look at it from a strategy point at the beginning of the year and what it is we want to accomplish. And the beginning of the year in USANA world is, convention time. So convention time is usually my inspiration for, okay, what's gonna happen this year and what's it going to look like. And then you're breaking my goals down into quarters, because now they have to be action goals. Because if I know what I want to achieve, then I have to move it into activity. And so I break it into quarters so that I can actually measure what I'm doing, because we need to review and reflect and adjust as needed. So if we have only annual goals and we don't have those quarterly markers, then we wouldn't really know if we were getting close to our goals. Maybe we could overachieve our goals if we paid attention, or maybe we are going to fall short because we're not paying attention and we leave it all to the end. So breaking them back up into quarters is the next stage. And so, what's the win? It might be, if it's a pin level or it's an earning point or a trip or whatever it might be, that's the visual and the emotional piece of it. But then I break it down into activity goals.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dad, can you unmute Rene Martinez? His phone number is 210-244. Suzanne, Renee is a new director. Renee and his wife Megan recently advanced, and they're very solid. They made another great check last week at their pin level. Definitely the next generation of leadership for our company.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
How you doing? I just wanted to first and foremost thank you very much for taking the time to talk to our team and to definitely give all of us a lot of inspiration, because we all look up to, everybody above us. And my question is, right now in my business, I'm starting to get a lot more associates. And when do you, the people that you actually work with in your business, that you actually sign up, that you actually train, that you actually, let them take their first baby steps and all the way up, when do you let them go and let them walk on their own?
Well, the goal for letting them go is it should be as soon as possible, but this is a relationship business. And people are at different stages of ability. So it's kind of a consistent thing, because when your business is growing really fast and you're getting more and more people, and you couldn't possibly be in everybody's home and everybody doing lunch meetings with everybody all the time and doing those one-on-one scenarios, it gets out of hand. And so I really believe in doing team environment. So having those Health and Freedom Thursdays, having the webinars like you're having places where everybody can come together and bring their guests and get the most out of you. So I think that's more important than knowing when to let them go. Bringing them in as they are comfortable to start sharing and doing testimonials and taking part in that team environment is really useful as well. If they are ready to run on their own, you will see it. They will start running on their own. But otherwise, allow it to be part of a community where you have a whole lot of success stories and leaders and involvement and celebration and recognition, and they feel part of something bigger than themselves. And that gives it a really good energy as well, like a really positive energy. So I think I've been told that, we stay close to our people too long. Maybe we do, but we don't feel encumbered by that because we're only connected to them because we're seeing them at those weekly meetings or hearing them on those weekly calls. And as needed, we're there beside them if they need us for a 2-on-1 or a telephone call for follow-up support. Does that help?
Awesome. It helps a lot. It's awesome. Thank you so much. And I had one other real quick question. Your book, your book, is it an audio book also?
It's not. I really should do that someday, but it's not.
It's okay.
So
I'll just get Jared to read it to me.
That would be nice. It's a quick, easy read. One of the first things that people say to me is it's so easy to read. And I love hearing that. However, I would ask everyone who does choose to read it and use it to read it and do what it says as it's telling you to do it. Don't read it all the way through and promise to get back to it, because most people don't. But if you read it and do what it says, it's an investment that will pay you for the future for so many more years to come.
I'm definitely going to check your book out.
Awesome.
And I appreciate your time and appreciate you answering my question. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. See you at convention.
Yes, ma'am.
Last question, Krista Marquez in Marfa, Texas. Susanne, you heard from Krista at the beginning. She just achieved lifetime pace setter, enrolled 2 associates, 800 volume, all in about 2 days period. We've never met her. We've only worked with her over the phone and internet, and she has just taken the lead, and she's like featured on every webinar because she's achieving so much. So she has the last question. Krista, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, yes, Krista.
First, I want to say that whenever you said what needs to happen next and standing on the edge of your future, I can definitely tell that those are going to help me a lot. They really kind of made a little impact in my brain.
Great.
But my question is, what are the qualities that you see in people that help you figure out who would be a good business partner or associate whenever you're working with people or prospecting?
I really follow my intuition, so it's just a feeling. I love to communicate with people, ask questions, listen to what they're saying. I act as an observer if they're talking, and I ask a lot of questions. So I really believe that anybody can do this. Some obviously can do it easier and better and faster maybe, but that's a decision that they end up having to make. And I have always given them the benefit of the doubt. I guess it goes back to how I was treated. Someone believed in me more than I believed in myself. So I don't carry people through it, but I trust my instincts and I give my best every time. So when I started building this business, though, the thing that I was watching for was to sponsor, I'm going to say, my equal to me and higher. I really looked for people that not just would do what I said or follow what I do, but people who would be inspired for their own reasons. And so I think that's really important to watch for. Those are the people that will really soar in this business. The other ones will need to be guided more, and we need all kinds of people in this business. We need our preferred customers, our retail customers, auto orders, obviously, and our associates that sometimes even become glorified preferred customers. But we're looking for the leaders. But I don't know that we want to sort people so much that that's all we're looking for. because this business is for everyone, and it's just a matter of how much time we'll put into that. So I'm not sure that I'm answering your question exactly with a list of qualities, but I would say to you to really listen, to see what's in this, discover what's in that their needs are, and analyze whether or not USANA can help them, and build that relationship so that you can have that trust for the long term. Even if I sponsor somebody today, I still have my work to do to make sure that they are, that USANA is really in them. They might get into USANA, but you want USANA in them. And so I guess what I'm saying as I hear myself saying this, it's more about me than it is about them in a lot of cases. So really being aware of what they're doing, and I don't mean about me, I mean about what I can do, what I can learn, and how much better I can be at what I'm doing. That's more important as I watch for what is in it for them and give them what's in it for them. Again, I don't think I'm giving you exactly the answer you're looking for with qualities, but I don't have a list of qualities. I know that when I saw this business, I was in my mid-30s with a young family. I was busy. I was making lots of money. For that time, I was comfortable, and yet I wasn't comfortable. So maybe the quality that is the most important is restlessness and needing something more, wanting something more, being willing to admit that they want something more. That's probably the hottest quality that they can have.
Awesome. You actually answered my question perfectly, because I was going to add in there too, like if you just give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and you actually answered that perfectly. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Awesome.
And keep up the good work.
Susanne, thank you so much for your time. This has been a tremendous experience for all of us. You know, many of our team is brand new, and they don't know your story till tonight. And I'm sure when they see you at convention, you're going to know that they were on this webinar.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to that. Yeah,
we really appreciate it. And do you have any last tip or advice as we end our webinar tonight for everyone? Everybody stayed on. Just everyone's still on the webinar. So any last
awesome. I think the last thing that I would leave you with is just know your big why. I think that's really, really important. And it's okay for your why to change. Know that as well, so that if one becomes not so big anymore, ask yourself what's bigger and what can you do with this. Don't ever think that you're dreaming too big. Don't ever stop because you think that it's not coming fast enough. Just keep moving forward, one step at a time. I will end with one little story. When I was, I took my sons on to Mount Everest Base Camp. Let me think. We were there Mother's Day. This is 2016. We were there in 12. So 4 years ago, we were there for Mother's Day. And when you go to Mount Everest Base Camp, you walk up the mountain 12 days and 5 days down. So, you know, it's one thing to do it yourself. And for me, I was very fortunate. It was easy enough for me. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't, I didn't have any trouble doing it. But what I noticed is the people who live there and who work hard and they climb that mountain all the time just to take food or supplies or whatnot. And a gentleman, a Sherpa, was carrying a load on his back. It was a 4x6 sheet of plywood on his back, and tied to that were 6 2x12s that were about 20 feet long. So if you're visual, just imagine that 20 foot of board tied on a rope onto your back, and you're going up a mountain. Now, most of us were breathing heavy just carrying our water. This is what this man was carrying. And I remember seeing him and thinking, he just takes one step at a time, 1 foot in front of the other, step, and breathing and step, and breathing and step. He can't look too far forward to see where he's going, because he would lose his balance and he would lose his load, and it would be very dangerous. He can't turn around and look back to see how far he's gone. All he can do is keep moving, one foot in front of the other. And they do that all the time. And to me, that was the perfect visual analogy of what it is that we need to do. Just one step at a time. And like some of my other quotes, with the faith and the belief that there is something that you're moving toward and that it's there for you is absolutely imperative. So I'll leave you with that visual, and just one foot in front of the other, ladies and gentlemen, and you will achieve your dreams, I promise you.
Thank you so much, Susanne. This has been an enlightening webinar. We appreciate all of your time. And everybody who's listening, you can please go to Suzanne's Facebook page and maybe tell her thank you, what you learned from the webinar. And we will be back here next Wednesday. I'm sorry, next Monday, not next Wednesday. Next Monday, which would be, what was that, May 16th? Yeah, May 16th for another great webinar. But again, thank you, Susanne. We really appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you as well. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you at convention.
All right. Thanks, Susanne. Everybody, Dad, if you could please unmute the lines for those who are still on. Everyone say good night and God bless.
Your line is now unmuted.
Good night and God bless everybody. Good night and
Good
God
night,
bless.
God bless.
Good night and God bless.
Good night and God bless.
Good night, God bless.
Good night. God bless.
God bless, guys.
God bless, guys.